Welcome to Military Miniatures magazine. In this issue, we begin to explore how wargames are won and lost. There are a number of universal principles of the art of war, which readily translate to the art of wargaming. Some, like the master principle of war, maintenance of the aim, you will already be familiar and possibly even struggling with in your daily life, at work, and in the relationships you enjoy. We will get to these principles of wargaming eventually, but our focus in this tutorial is more basic and very consequential. So let's find out if the rules we use for wargaming are actually biased against one army and how that may ruin the game. To evaluate wargame rules and discover any biases in them, we routinely compare a number of key combat characteristics. One such test is what we call the Lingèvres benchmark. During the Battle of Lingèvres on 14th June 1944, an armored confrontation occurred which helps us evaluate popular World War II wargame rules statistically. The second-in-command of A Squadron, 4th and 7th Royal Dragoon Guards, Captain John Sterling, with the Sherman tanks of 2nd and 4th Troop, minus their Troop Fireflies, had been deployed as flank guards, about 1,000 yards west of Lingèvres and north of Departmental Road 13, when a German Tiger tank was reported coming down the D13 from La Senaudière towards Lingèvres. Accordingly, Captain Sterling and 4th Troop were ordered to maneuver into a position north of the road, whence they might attack the German heavy tank from the rear. When Sterling reached the intended position, he spotted the turret of a stationary German Panther tank, about 400 yards away and facing east in the direction of Lingèvres. Guiding his Sherman into a hull-down position, Captain Sterling had his tank gunner put 3 75mm armor-piercing rounds into the Panther's turret, brewing it up. We can use these same parameters in popular World War II wargame rules to calculate the probability of hitting, penetrating and knocking out a Panther tank by firing APC M61 rounds from an M4 Sherman's 75mm L41 main gun at a Panther's turret sight armor. In WRG Wargame Rules 1925 to 1950, the probability to hit is 66%. If a hit is scored, armor penetration at this range is automatic and the Panther is destroyed. In Lionel Tarr's Modern Warfare Rules, the probability of destroying the Panther is nearly the same at 63%. In the Advanced Squad Leader ASL board game, we get one hit plus a 6% chance of a second hit per turn, multiplied by a 58% chance of destruction, or 62% overall. All three of these wargame rules deliver rather similar results. In bold action, the basic chance of hitting is a result of 3+ on a d6, reduced by -2 because the Panther is in hard cover, for a final hit chance of only 33%. If a hit is scored, the 75mm gun has a penetration value of 5, increased by +1 because the Panther's side armor is the target. The Panther has a damage value of 9+, so a 3 is the minimum die roll required to do any damage. 5 + 1 + 3 = 9. That's a 66% chance of any damage occurring. If any damage is done, there is a further 50% chance that the Panther will be knocked out. Multiplying 0.33 by 0.66 by 0.50, we get 11% as the cumulative probability of hitting, penetrating, and destroying the Panther in this situation. So, even in this very favorable combat situation, firing at the side armor of a stationary enemy vehicle, the Sherman has a slim chance of destroying a Panther in bold action. The Allies are slightly worse off when the popular rapid-fire wargame rules are used to calculate the same shot. In rapid fire, the 75mm Sherman gun is a Class 3 gun, firing at the Panther's B-class armor, requiring a 5 or 6 on a d6 for an effective hit. The Panther is partially concealed, so 1 is deducted, requiring a 6 on a d6 for an effective hit. A very low 16% probability to hit. If a hit is scored, there is a further 33% chance each of causing light damage, heavy damage, or complete destruction of the Panther. So let's be generous and count both the immobilizing heavy damage result and the destruction of the Panther as a 66% chance of destruction. When we multiply 0.16 by 0.66, we get an extremely low 11% probability of hitting and immobilizing or destroying the Panther tank in this situation. So if you are an allied player, you will want to think twice about using rapid fire for your wargames, because the odds are against you. Bolt action and rapid fire are both heavily biased in favor of the Panther tank. What's the point of playing with biased wargame rules when the outcome of any such game is seriously flawed? German players need not even employ sound tactics to win a game, they are simply handed victory on a silver platter. Thank you for watching. For more information, you're welcome to visit our website at miniatures.de.